Sophia was 30 years old, living in a quiet neighborhood in northern London. Her parents had gone out of town to visit relatives in Scotland, leaving her alone in their large family home for a few days. At first, she enjoyed the silence, the freedom. But by the third night, something felt wrong. It was a chilly October evening. The wind howled through the trees outside. The old Victorian house creaked more than usual. Sophia made herself a cup of tea and curled up on the sofa, trying to distract herself with a book. But her eyes kept drifting to the dark hallway and the shadows beyond. By midnight, she had locked every door and window. Or so she thought. Around 1:30 a.m., she heard a soft thud from the upstairs hallway. Then a creak, like someone walking slowly down the wooden staircase. Her heart pounded. She grabbed her phone and tiptoed to the base of the stairs, calling out shakily, "Hello? Is someone there?" Silence. But then, a gust of cold wind swept through the living room. The back door, which she had definitely locked, stood wide open. Panic set in. She slammed it shut and pushed a chair against it, hands trembling. She dialed her parents' number, but there was no signal. At exactly 2 a.m., her bedroom light flickered. Then the hallway light. And then the front door opened. A tall figure stood there. A man around her age, wearing a dark coat and holding a single rose. Sophia should have screamed. But something about his eyes stopped her. They were calm. Warm. Familiar, even. "Don't be afraid," he said gently. "I've come for you." Her mind screamed run, but her heart whispered stay. The stranger walked in, closed the door behind him, and sat beside her on the sofa. They talked. About life. About love. About pain. His voice soothed her like a lullaby. His touch was gentle. They laughed. She cried. He wiped her tears. Time blurred. It felt like a dream. And yet, it was the most real thing she had ever felt. By morning, he was gone. No trace. No footprints. No rose. No fingerprints on the door. She checked the cameras, all blank between 1:55 a.m. and 5 a.m. Was he even real? She tried to forget. But she couldn't. Every night after, she sat up until 2 a.m., hoping he would return. But he never did. Yet she had fallen in love with a ghost. Or maybe an angel? That one night changed her forever. She still talks to him in the dark, feeling his presence in the wind. She writes letters to him she never sends. And every year, on that exact date, a fresh rose appears on her doorstep at 2 a.m. She smiles, clutches it to her chest, and whispers, "I still remember you." It had been exactly 1 year since that night. Sophia never spoke about him to anyone, not even her closest friends. How could she, who would believe that a man had appeared out of nowhere at 2 a.m., spent the most beautiful night of her life with her, and then vanished like mist? But she believed. Every night for the past year, she lit a candle at 1:50 a.m. and sat by the window, heart full of longing. But he never returned, until now. On the anniversary of his arrival, as the clock struck 2 a.m., the wind outside began to howl. Her candle flickered, almost dying. She closed her eyes, silently wishing, "Please come back," even if just for a moment. Then a knock. Slow. Deliberate. She raced to the door, flung it open, and there he was. The same man. Same black coat. Same soft eyes. But something was different. His expression was sad. "Why did you come back?" she whispered, tears already falling. "Because I had to see you." "One last time," he said, stepping inside. "One last time? What are you talking about?" He took her hands in his. "I'm not like you, Sophia. I was never meant to stay. That night was borrowed time. I was sent here from somewhere else. A place beyond your world. I wasn't supposed to feel anything. But I did. I felt you." Her knees buckled. He caught her gently, pulling her into his arms. "I don't care what you are," she whispered into his chest. "You're real to me." They sat together on the same sofa, the same way they did a year ago. But this time, the room felt heavier, like time was running out. He looked at her, pain in his eyes. "I broke rules by coming back. If I stay longer, something terrible will happen. Not to me, to you. She shook her head. I'd rather face the danger than lose you again. The lights flickered. A sharp, cold wind blew through the house, even though the windows were shut. He stood up. They know I'm here. Who? She asked, but he didn't answer. Instead, he leaned in, kissed her softly, and whispered, "Close your eyes." When she did, she felt warmth, light, and love. Then, silence. She opened her eyes. He was gone again. Only this time, he left something behind, a small silver pendant on the table. Inside it was a photograph of her asleep on the sofa, cradled in his arms. A photo that could never have been taken. She wears it every day. And though he hasn't come back since, she dreams of him often. And sometimes, she swears she hears his voice in the wind, calling her name. But the story doesn't end here, because lately, strange things have started happening again. Lights flickering, whispers in the night, a shadow by the window. And last night, she woke up at exactly 2:00 a.m. to find the pendant glowing softly, and a message scratched faintly into her bedroom mirror. I'm coming back, but not alone. The message on the mirror haunted Sophia. I'm coming back, but not alone. She couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. For days, she tried convincing herself it was a dream. But each night, more strange things occurred. Drawers opened on their own, her phone displayed static at 2 a.m., and the pendant glowed faintly in the dark, pulsing like a heartbeat. On the seventh night, she had a dream, vivid and terrifying. She was standing in a hallway lined with mirrors. And inside each reflection, she saw him, the stranger. But in one mirror, his eyes were black, and his voice cold. You were never supposed to love me. Sophia woke up gasping, only to find something worse. Every mirror in her house now bore a message scratched in fine white lines. Midnight. The truth will reveal. The fear twisted inside her like a knife. But something deeper urged her forward, the need to know who he truly was. That night, at midnight, she stood before the large mirror in her hallway, pendant around her neck. She whispered, I'm ready. The mirror trembled. A cold wind burst through the hallway as shadows formed behind her. The mirror's surface turned liquid, rippling like water, and then she was pulled through it. She found herself in a realm of mist and silence, a space between worlds. And there he stood, but not alone. Beside him stood a woman, pale, crying, ghost-like. Her voice echoed softly. He was mine. He died in the fire meant for me. I called him back, but he found you. Sophia's heart raced. You're the reason he came to me? The woman nodded. He wasn't supposed to love, but he did. Now he's torn between the world of the living and the dead. The man stepped forward. I broke a law no spirit should. I stayed because of you, but she's right. If I remain, you'll be cursed. Sophia grabbed his hand, tears flowing. Then let me go with you. He shook his head, heartbroken. You belong to life. I'm already a memory. And then the world shattered. Sophia fell backward, gasping, waking up on her hallway floor. The mirror was cracked. The pendant on her neck? Gone. But in her hand, a note burned into her skin. Love doesn't die. It waits.